course I've been doing extra at work, so this is my first day off of the week, which is very nice. As I've only got a day to film, I thought I would do a what I eat in a day. This is going to be slightly different because it is going to be diet edition. That's because I'm currently on a diet. I weighed myself this morning and I was 2 pounds lighter, which means overall I've lost 5 pounds, which is nearly half a stone. So I'm nearly at the halfway point of what I want to achieve, which is fantastic. But I was thinking to myself why this particular diet has made such a big difference to me, because in the past when I've done dieting, my weight has certainly fluctuated through the years. So when I turned 21, I'd been through a very strict diet and I was eating 1,200 calories a day, and I'd lost a lot of weight from doing that for months and months and months. When you're 20 though, your body reacts differently to when you're 40. And I think this is where I've been going wrong these past few years. Over COVID, I probably gained about 2 stone extra in weight. And ever since then, I've been trying to lose it with no success. And I think it's because I was going back to that original diet, because I found it easy at the time to maintain 1,200 calories. But then again, I wasn't working out. It was just purely a diet of food. This time round, I enjoy my exercises. I have an active work lifestyle. I was working at home then. I was working for my father, and now I commute to work. I'm up and down from the chair. I'm, busy all the time. So it's a very different lifestyle, and now I'm 40, so my body reacts differently to the food intake. So I decided to increase the calorie count, because I think what was happening, this was my theory, was that at 1,200 calories, my body wasn't getting enough and it was just storing the fat. So I've upped the calorie count to a minimum of 1,400. But if I go to 1,500, that's also fine, depending on what I want to eat in the day. Because of that, it's been 2 weeks now and I've lost 5 pounds. That is a huge amount of weight loss for me. I'm making sensible choices with my eating. And to begin with, I was getting headaches because certainly sugar withdrawal, I think, was the main issue, but I was feeling lightheaded sometimes. I obviously was craving more calories. But once you push through that, you actually don't feel those effects anymore. Your body gets used to the amount of food that you're taking in. And yeah, I'm feeling really good on it. So I thought I would do a diet edition of what I eat in a day, just to show you how I'm doing it. It certainly won't be perfect. And I think the emotion around diets is this idea that somehow you're imperfect if you're slightly overweight or if you are overweight. Working in healthcare, often weight is attributed because you're unwell. It's not the other way around. And doctors often say, I know I've had it before, when I've walked into a doctor's surgery, I'll give my symptoms and the first thing they'll say is, well, you're a bit overweight. You need to lose a bit of weight and then you'll feel fine. It's not that. That's not the case. Weight gain is often attributed because something else is going wrong in your body. Not always, but in my experience, that's what it is. I know from friends and family who have struggled with their weight, it's often because they're on steroids for asthma, or they have hormone issues. There is a multitude of reasons why. So if you are struggling with your weight, don't get down about it. It's a case of going to see your doctor and figuring out a plan that works for you. And it's not necessarily going on a super strict diet of 1,200 calories. It could just be monitoring what you eat, but not to the point where you become obsessive about it. And certainly, like last weekend, I was at a party. I had a few of the hors d'oeuvres there, which I knew were going to take me way over my calorie count for that day, but that was fine. It was a party, I was enjoying myself, I wasn't drinking, so I put those extra calories into the food that I wanted to eat. I'm going to begin with my breakfast, which I'm now making into a smoothie. So I'll just show you what that is. Keep this in the fridge overnight. So I've got half a cup of oats in the bottom and a tablespoon of chia seeds. And then to that, I'm going to add 1 banana and about half a teaspoon of cinnamon to that. Blend it all up, drink it down, and that keeps me full until lunchtime. It's a bland breakfast. That's my only gripe with it. Even if I could add like a little bit of milk to it, I think it would just make it a bit more satisfying. But the whole point of this diet is not necessarily to lose weight, although I know I need to lose weight. It's because my cholesterol is high. So the diet is tailored around low fat items. So chia seeds obviously have omega-3 in them. So I'm guessing they're a fat of some nature, but it's an essential one. So that's fine. Oats are a soluble fibre. That's good. That should hopefully cling to the cholesterol and rid me of it. And then the water, there's no calories in water. Banana contains potassium, healthy. And the cinnamon is just there to add a bit more flavour to it. So yeah, that is my breakfast. While I wouldn't say it's something that I jump out of bed for, it does the job. It fills me up. So yeah, I'm going to create that now and get on with the rest of my day. It does taste nice. With that banana, it's got the sweetness in there, so it is very easy to drink. It's not like it's a difficult breakfast to consume. My only issue is when you first buy the bananas, they're obviously not as ripe as this one was. So to begin with, it can just be like drinking porridge. But when they're lovely and ripe like this, you get that hit of sweetness. And yes, as you can see, it's put a smile on my face. Just give you the calorie count for this. So this breakfast comes in at 364 calories according to my app. So not bad at all. So it's, oh, my watch isn't working, great. It's just coming up to 1 o'clock and I'm going to do my normal salad that I have. But just to make it a little bit more interesting today, because I didn't have any of my hummus, they sold out in Sainsbury's, I'm going to make it a little bit crunchy, hopefully, with baking off some chickpeas with a teaspoon, literally a teaspoon of olive oil, and maybe some paprika and salt. And hopefully that'll just add a nice little crunch to my salad. So I'm just going to drain these chickpeas. All about control. I'm going to add a teaspoon of olive oil. Let's add a touch of salt, a touch of smoked paprika. And I'll probably have like a tablespoon of this with my salad, just so that I'm aware of the calories. So I think maybe 2 tablespoons would be about 1/4 of the canned. So that's what I'm putting down on my app. But if I can reduce that even to another by just a tablespoon, even better. So that's all done. Pop that on there, spread that out, and just bake them in the oven. I'm going to do it for 20 minutes as I normally do it, and then see what it's like see if it needs another 10 minutes or so. So that's going to go straight in the oven now. At the moment, I'm not like chomping at the bit to have my lunch. I'm beginning to feel hungry. I'm not like desperate to eat. So I try to resist the urge just because it's lunchtime to eat lunch. It doesn't matter if I have it at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. It's just when I feel hungry, and it's just reprogramming my brain and myself into recognizing when I'm hungry and when I want to eat, rather than just eating at certain times. So yeah, that's in the oven, cooking away. When I feel a little bit more hungry, I will show you how I make my salad. Right, I am feeling hungry now, so I'm going to put together my salad now. I will begin with my favourite. This is the bistro salad. It's got the beetroot in, some homegrown tomatoes, which I will chop up and wash, or wash and chop up. I'm going to put on 2 tablespoons of this Moroccan style couscous. I really like this because it's got raisins or currants in there, and it adds a lovely sweetness to it all. I'm going to put a little bit on of the salad cream, and I mean a little bit, it's literally a drizzle. And I've got these little sweet potato chickpea falafels, 2 of those. And all I'm waiting for is my chickpeas, which should be done now. Let's take them out of the oven. They are looking very nice. And like I said, I'm just going to put a tablespoon of those on here, just to add a bit of extra crunch to it. And that is my lunch made. I know it doesn't look particularly filling, but actually it is. And at the end of the day, if I do feel hungry, I can always have a bit of pita bread or something, or some watermelon, some fruit, something just to finish it all off with. But I know that will be enough for me. So yeah, that is my lunch. And right before I sit down to have my lunch, I'm just going to make myself a drink. Now, it can get quite boring drinking just herbal teas and water. So what I like to do is add a little bit of orange juice to some sparkling water, and it's almost like a grown-up Fanta. It takes a little bit of getting used to, because obviously it's nowhere near as sweet. But that's how much orange juice I put in. So that's not even 100 mils. And it's 36 calories per 100 mils. I'm not even going to include that in the calorie count. I know I should, but I'm not. And then I just top it up with some sparkling water. This feels like it's a bit more interesting, something with a bit of flavour to drink. I am going to sit down and enjoy my meal, and I will see you in a bit. It is coming up to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I know I said earlier that I don't eat to a certain time. Dinner is slightly different because I do like to eat my food before 6. I can't always do that because sometimes I work late. Normally on a Thursday I work late, so that isn't possible. But on the days that it is, I try to keep it before 6 p.m. and that's simply because I don't like going to bed on a full tummy. So I'm going to make a start on dinner, which I'm very much looking forward to because I am very hungry now. I've got microwavable rice. This is the whole grain basmati and wild rice. I really like this. It tastes amazing, and it always comes out perfect, lovely and fluffy, really tasty. I'm going to pop that in the microwave at the last minute and just have half the packet, not the full packet. And I'm going to have one of these salmon steaks. I was going to have sea bass this evening, but they didn't have it in store. So I'm going for the salmon, just one fillet. and I'm just going to griddle pan that with 1 teaspoon of olive oil, and in the same pan I'm going to steam some broccoli. So once it's crisp on the skin side of the salmon, I'll then turn the heat right down, put the broccoli in, and then cover the broccoli with a saucepan lid, and then I'll just steam it all. And once that's made, I'll then do 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce, and that's my dinner done. And like I said, I'm very much looking forward to it because I'm really hungry, so I'm gonna make a start on that. My lunch was actually a lot less calories than I had put down in my app, because I was going to have some leftover chicken with it, but I forgot to put it with the lunch, and that's probably why it was looking so small. It filled me up for the time that I needed it, but I was thinking, oh, this really doesn't look like a lot of food. And I am like that. I know when I go to restaurants, I always think, oh, you've got to order enough because I'm going to get hungry otherwise. And then you're just left with loads of food. So it's just one of those things where I have to remind myself I don't need a big plate of food. I will still be full, and if I need extra food, I can go back for it. But in this case, I didn't. What I'm going to do is just take a teaspoon of olive oil and then put it across the skin, like so, and then just start the cooking process for that. Comes up to temperature, I'm just going to make myself a herbal tea. These pucker teas, I've spoken about them before, going for peppermint and licorice for this afternoon. Right, I can see that this is smoking, so I'm going to turn it right down and just flip it over. Start on that side, throw in some broccoli. On the lid, like so. Just to steam that broccoli and get it soft all the way through. Then it's just a case of microwaving my rice and I'm ready to serve. Easy when this meal prep is so simple. Okay, so here's my dinner. I've got my light soy sauce, which I'm just going to, I can't do it one-handed, but I'm going to take a tablespoon of that and just put it on the rice. Spoon of soy sauce, just going all over the rice, maybe a little bit on the salmon. There we go. And I am ready to eat. And to finish, I'm just going to have 100 grams of yogurt. And I'll just take 2 tablespoons of that, and there we go. I've actually just added some dark chocolate, 1 square of dark chocolate I've just crumbled up on the top, and a teaspoon of honey for extra sweetness. But yes, that is my dessert, and it will all be included. It's Thursday morning, I'm about to leave for work. I thought I would just go through the calories that I consumed yesterday. Overall, it was 1,335 calories. My lunch was 356 calories without the chicken in the end. So that's probably where that extra 100 calories was missing yesterday. But I felt fine last night. I wasn't feeling hungry and my dinner was really delicious. And then to finish off, that little bit of dark chocolate just completed the day. So I didn't feel like I was craving anything, like to the point where you're distracted by your appetite. So I feel I found a diet that I can sustain for a relatively long period. I'm not going to go beyond 3 months of this. I do plan to introduce just normal eating back into my diet and a few treats as and when I want them, especially cake. I do like a piece of cake. But yeah, just being sensible, making sure that I'm having a minimum of 1,400 calories. I know I didn't do it yesterday, but I will be doing it today. And I have been losing weight on it, so it's working for me. And yes, we will find out what's going on with my cholesterol. I personally think it's genetic, so that's another reason why I want to lose this weight, because if nothing has happened with my cholesterol and it's still super high, even when I've lost the weight and I'm eating low fat, non-fat foods, it just goes to prove that it's got nothing to do with my weight, it's got nothing to do with what I'm eating, it has got everything to do with the fact that I just produce cholesterol. So yes, I have a point to prove. We shall see what happens. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week for another video. Take care, thank you, bye.